I want to acknowledge a few disclaimers. Because quite often when we talk about excellence, purpose, and confidence, we tend to think about certain things that really pull our spirit down. We tend to think about the bad experiences and somehow they prevent us from moving forward. So here are a few disclaimers that I want you to lay hold of. One, every person has a journey and it is theirs to take. Every person has a journey and it is theirs to take. Nobody starts where they finish. Nobody starts where they finish. Every successful person once stood in the very position that you're in today. Let me say that again. In case there's somebody in this space who's doubting, I want you to hear this. Every successful person once stood exactly where you are at today. Now, I don't know where you are at today in your mind. I can tell that you are sitting right here before me and you are listening. But somehow some of us might be very much at the school where your child was placed, and you're somewhat wondering what is going to be happening to your child September morning. I just want to pause at this time and call you back, not just your physical body, but your mind to this very setting. Because when you leave here, you should not leave in doubt. You should not leave in fear. You should not leave worried, but you should leave hopeful, knowing exactly why you should be confident and purposeful. Now, we often talk about several great people. We always go to our national heroes, right? And we talk about our governor generals, and we talk about our eloquent prime ministers, and we compete and we pull on Aristotle and we talk about those famous people. But sometimes there are some characters who we learn about in Sunday schools and Sabbath school that we only call on those folks when we're in trouble. Today I put to you one character, David. Graduates, I want you to pay attention because this is really for you. David was a shepherd boy, one who was never so comely at all. The scripture describes him as one who is very rugged, one who was never fair, one who is always in the bushes attending to his flock. He was bold and strong, but not in stature. He had a big heart, but not a big body. He had a very big family, one who the family is known to produce kings, kingmen, leaders, prominence. But David was never considered one of those. To be very specific, David was even ignored by a prophet of God. So much he was never seen, he was never considered to be significant. I want you to listen, graduates. This same David, according to the scripture, was ordained to be a king of Israel. God knew his greatness. God knew what was expected of him. God knew what was placed in him to fulfill. But David never knew what his true purpose was. He thought it was only to tend to the flock. Do I have any farmers in here? Yes, I see a hand jump up out the window there. Wave your hands, farmers. Just wave them. Yes, ma'am. You know, sometimes you're in the field and you totally forget what is happening on the outside, because in your mind, this is what I'm called to do. So I'm doing it with my might. David was a king, a farmer first, a shepherd, but he really was a king. Now I put to you one little boy called Daniel, grew up to be a very popular man. But when he started out, Daniel was also very much insignificant. His family knew his name, just like yours. His family knew that, yes, his gender was a boy. But they never knew that Daniel, at one point when he grew up, would have been tossed in the den to be eaten by lions. They never knew that that little boy would grow up to stand before a king, to say to a king very boldly that I will not bow to any other god. Now, of course, Daniel was taken and captured from his little family. A family that, in the king's mind and countrymen, this family valued nothing. Daniel and his friends were subjected, yes, to much torture. And can I say this to you? Daniel, even in the midst of death, did not crumble under fear. Do I have any Daniel sitting right here? I don't have any Daniel sitting right here. Do you have any Daniel in your heart sitting right there? Yes, man, I see two heads, none and another one over there. Very good. Follow me. And if you dare not to think of these two characters, allow me patiently just to remind you of every time when you fall, whose name do you call? Whose name? Jesus. Or if you don't get to say the us, just say Jesus. You hold it. But somehow, after a while, you forget this name. But I want to say to you today, this same Jesus was born in a stable among animals. Were you ever born among animals? No. You had the privilege of being around your people and being birthed in a nice, lovely home among your family. Some of you have affluent families, but Jesus never had that. Jesus had humble families. Humble parents, parents who were hiding from great families and could not face the world alone. Jesus grew up to be a mighty man. We now know him as God among us. But his family and his people rejected him. They never saw who he was. They never knew who he was until they crucified him and laid him to rest. It was then they acknowledged the excellence that was in him. Do you understand that many times even the same family that you are originated from will reject you? Yes? Do you understand that when you are settled for greatness, you will have the very people who you call your biological parents who will reject you? Do you know that? It is a part of the greatness process. I put to you. Now, as we talk about these characters, I want to say to you that every struggle that these characters went through meant a step closer to their purpose. The purpose that each of you carries today will require you stepping forward. And the journey will not be easy. The journey will take some toilsome. The journey will require you to remain in the bushes and hide. The journey will require you to be tossed in the den. The journey will require people to reject you. The journey will require doors to be closed on you so that you get to the point of excellence. Are you with me? Are you with me? Many people expect excellence to come by smooth sailing pathways. We expect that when we ask for something, we will receive it at the same time. For our graduates sitting right before me, 11 of them, I'm very sure you parents believe that the moment they go to school, they must score 100 every single time. Go ahead now. But I know that when they come home with the 40 and the 50, the things you have to say cannot be uttered. I know. But here's the thing. Excellence is built upon block by block. Excellence does not come overnight. And on the path to excellence, you will fall and you will fail. Graduates, did you hear that? Yes. Because failure becomes a significant pathway towards success. When you fail, you learn how to get up. And you know what it feels like to be down there on your face. When you have that experience rising up, you never forget. And you learn to appreciate excellence when you get there. Some people don't know what it feels like to embrace excellence, because some